بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Who are those who are Godwary? What do I mean by that? Okay, verse number 16 and 17 explain who are the Godwary, our Lord. Oh, the one who is cherishing us, the one who is sustaining us. They believe in that in their hearts. They feel that connection. When we feel that everything that we have, every breath which we breathe, every cell of our body, every moment in our life is dependent on Him, then that sense of dependence comes. Rabbana. We have confessed our faith. Innana amanna. By saying innana amanna, they don't mean that we have a favor on you. We have done a favor on you, for you because we have believed. No. They want to say, you have promised maghfirah for whoever believes. And we have believed. In a sense, it is a pleading for that maghfirah that Allah has promised the believer. So He will give you maghfirah. He will remove all the traces of and consequences of sin which are somehow lingering in your soul and heart. So they say, Rabbana innana amanna. Now, of course, we humbly request what you have promised. Faghfir lana dhunubana. Give us your maghfirah. And certainly, maghfirah, qina adhab an-nar is the consequence of keep us from the fire of the hell, is the consequence of that maghfirah. If you are given maghfirah, then certainly you are not punished by fire of hell. These are 5 qualities which are mentioned for لِلَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا. So taqwa always manifests itself in action. Now that action may be something related to our heart, something related to our body, something related to other people. But without action, taqwa doesn't manifest itself. As I have repeatedly mentioned, taqwa is manifestation of faith in action. And patience is to persevere. Patience doesn't mean that you just sit and do nothing. Of course, that's very clear. Means you persevere. If you are told to do something in obedience of God, you persevere in that. That's to have patience. There's as-sabru fi ta'ah, patience in obedience. It may be difficult to fast in Ramadan. It needs patience. That's the meaning of patience, isn't it? As-sabru ala al-ma'asiyah. Having patience in not sinning. That is also difficult, or maybe sometimes more difficult. We sometimes are caught in a situation where our desires are so strong and we are somehow dragged into sinning. That needs patience. And this is as-sabru ala al-ma'asiyah. And then what is above all these is as-sabru inda al-musibah. Musibah from asaba. Whatever actually strikes us in terms of misfortunes, calamities, disease, poverty, for example, losing loved ones. These are the musibat. So as-sabireen was-sadiqeen. Sadiqeen fi imanihim wa fi aqwalihim. In what they say and in what they believe. We may believe in certain things, but our action may refute that we believe in them. So this is also another aspect of sidq. Al-qaniteen. What's the meaning of qunut or qanit? Well, of course, in salat we have qunut. That is where we raise our hands and ask dua. So one of the meanings of qunut is dua. However, it has deeper meaning. It's just a sort of one aspect of the meaning of qanit. The deeper meaning of qanit is someone who is obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with humility. This is very important. Worshipping with humility. There are some suggestions for the meaning of qanit. For example, by the tabi'un, by the mufassirun, from the successors of the companions. For example, Qatada says that is al-qaniteen means muti'in, those who are obedient. Or another scholar, ancient scholar, says ad-da'imina ala ta'ati wal-ibad, those who persevere on obedience and on worship. However, when we follow the meanings, and especially when we go to the old dictionaries, we find that qunut is obedience and worship with humbleness and humility. There are these two elements built in the meaning of qunut. Ya Maryam, uqnuti lirabbiki wasjudi warka'i ma'ar-raki'in. O Mary, worship your Lord with humility and humbleness. That is a very, very important quality of worship. Because many of us, we worship Allah. Whether it's giving charity, whether it's salat, whether it's so. However, that essence of humility, which is part of qunut, is lacking in many of us. So the last thing which is mentioned is Mustaghfireen as-haar, and those who plead for forgiveness at dawn. In addition to the fact that istighfar would bring us bounties of Allah, would remove our misdeeds and our sins, it is in itself a worship. Now, what is particular about this part of the verse is that it gives a time for istighfar. Of course, it's good to do istighfar at any time. After every salat, it's good to do istighfar. Whenever we wake up in the morning, it's good to do istighfar. Whenever we commit something that we think it was a misconduct, it's good to do istighfar. However, here it gives a particular time for istighfar. Mustaghfireen as-haar. Why as-haar? The dawns are specified here for this act of asking and pleading for forgiveness. Is because as it is mentioned in some tafsir, it's because ad-du'a fiha aqrabu ila al-ijaba. At that moment of the day or night, because it's not day yet, at that moment of the night, when we are closing to the day, the dua, asking Allah for something, is more effective. Because, first of all, we are yet free of our preoccupations, of our daily business. We have just woken up from sleep. We are fresh. The hadith in Man La Yahduru al-Faqih and in Khisal of Saduq from Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam. Whoever says in his 1 unit Salatul Watr, Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh 70 times, and persevere in that for 1 year, until 1 year is elapsed, then Allah will write him from al-Mustaghfireen as-haar. This means this should be a habit, because the verse says as-sabireen means, as-sabireen doesn't mean that someone who has patience only in one occasion. No, it should be a continuous quality in the soul. So as-sabireen, as-sadiqeen, the truthful, al-qaniteen wal-munfiqeen. Now, munfiqeen, to be charitable, may be the easiest of these. Okay, we give our money, especially for those of us who are not very much eager towards this the money and life of this world. However, to be sadiq and sabir and qanit, it may be more difficult. We may have to somehow control our soul, ourself, our temper for most of the time until we are described with these qualities. Not that we do it once. And then, of course, Mustaghfireen as-haar again means some continuity until a person is described by this quality as someone who's doing it.